Today I wanted to talk about why it's so important that you have different periodization. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Different segments or different, I don't know, portions of your training that last several months, but that always change. The reason why it's important is because your body is a changing and evolving organism. The body you have today is not the same body you had, like maybe saying yesterday is a stretch, but let's say the same body you had a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's why it's always unrealistic for people to want to be like how they were before. Life has changed, your body has changed and adapted. You have a new body now, and your body is just responsive to the stimuli in your environment. So, for example, me in the last 2 years, I started off from basically only squatting most days out of the week. Actually, for a while, I was doing it every day, but I only squatted because I didn't really have much strength to be accounted for. So I knew that I needed to build strength in my lower back, in my hips, in my core. Um, Basically, I was building from the ground up. So as I started squatting, everything below the bar, right, gets applied pressure, and so I got it stronger in a lot of things. But I didn't focus on upper body because I knew that in order to do upper body, that would isolate isolate my shoulder joints and whatnot, my upper extremities, but it would also be taxing on my core. So if I didn't have core strength, that would increase the probability of getting injured. And I just understand that. I don't know how I knew this, but I just understood intuitively that strength comes from the ground up. So for about a year, I did mostly I wouldn't say even leg. I did mostly squat training, and then once I felt like I was comfortable with my squats, then I went into more pressing, like bench press and overhead press, upper body movements. After which I went into I'd always been doing deadlifts, but like not too much. Then I went into deadlifts. The reason I'm saying this all, what I'm trying to get at is that by doing periodization and having training periods is that, let's say I get strong in one movement, it will only serve me to get to the next one, and then I do the next one, building off of what I've already done. And each time I switch, it'll give me a new focus. So like, for example, I'm starting on front squats now. I've done them before, but I haven't really focused on them. So now that I'm focusing on them, it requires a lot of mental focus to know which movement patterns need to change, because it's not the same as the back squat. It has different things involved. And so as I try and conquer that hill or that challenge, it'll require more mental focus. And then everything I do in the front squat will hopefully carry over to like my other lifts. And so once I get advanced enough in this, I'll switch back over to something else. And it's this whole cycle, but it's like it's easier to stay focused, to maintain that focus that's necessary to be disciplined, because I know that it's something that I haven't done before, that I need to master. Once I master it, or not even master it, once I master it to a certain degree, I'm moving on to another thing. And for me, this has been the only way I've been able to keep myself successfully consistent going to the gym and being motivated to show up, is knowing that I have something new to work on, some challenge to overcome. So once I get good at the front squat, and that means I'll be squatting well over 200 pounds, then I'll start switching more, like going back to my back squat, because those gains that I get in the front squat will surely be able to help me in my back squat, because this is targeting a lot of the muscles that sometimes don't get as conditioned in the back squat as they should. I feel like I also want to have a deadlift training period where I mostly focus on training deadlifts, because the more you focus on one specific thing, the more it's going to grow. And the more I feel like, because powerlifting is just so taxing on your body, that if you try and go heavy on multiple lifts all at once, let's say I try and get good at the front squat and back squat and deadlift and want to see my bench press go up, I probably will see none of those things increase at the rate at which I want. And so when I attack them one by one, my body is able to channel all of its resources and energy into growing and expanding that one part of my fitness. So anyways, that's what I wanted to say today as far as an advice for fitness. For anyone who's new or getting going in the gym, if you are more advanced than me, you probably shouldn't listen to me. But these thoughts and this idea, this advice has taken me this far. I guess I should say thus far. Now I also want to talk about some spiritual aspects of of this whole training, this whole lifting style I've been talking about, there's a spiritual application as well in life, and that's that life is always changing, and you will never go back to having the same life that you had before. Oftentimes, we create a false ideal in our mind of what things used to be like. We forget some of the things that were hard. Um, it's more of like sometimes I think it's like it's the devil's tactic to make us wish we had a better life by convincing us that it used to be better back when we had something, and we like fixate on that past, not understanding that we still have and not just having some of those things, but having the potential to add on and have better and new things in the future. The only condition is that we put ourselves to think and to plan and process what is it that needs to happen in order to attain those goals moving forward. Because we're so fixated on like, oh, I wish I had what I had in the past, not even realizing that in the past we wish we had more stuff, and we still weren't happy in the past. So now it's more about moving forward in the future. So my advice is like fix your mind, fix your mindset, but focus on one thing, one simple thing that you can change, and one thing you can attack. And then one by one, as you start knocking those things down, you'll realize you're in a place now where you have more things than you ever did. So, like, for example, health and fitness. When I focused on it and it became my priority, I spent 6 months straight not worried about anything else but just doing that. Once I built a strong, stable base as far as like having strength and whatnot, I was able to focus on other things in my life, and I didn't have to be so consistent in the gym. It sounds weird to say that, and it almost sounds wrong, but because I had so much consistency in the past, I was able to miss more gym sessions and then focus on other things that I wanted to focus on. Super weird concept, but I feel like that's just how it is. Like sometimes, I mean, ideally we would like to be balanced, but sometimes you're not balanced, and sometimes overdoing it in one area for a certain amount of time can give you enough results that it will last you while you work on something else. Just an idea. But anyways, hope anyone that watched had a good time listening, or that you had an insight you were able to take away from this. I hope you guys keep watching the videos or whatever, and I hope I can get better at making these. Sometimes I feel like I can't convey the exact idea I want to say in the right way, but it's also, this is a practice for me to become a better person. So I appreciate anyone who listens, and even if no one is, I appreciate that I was able to get through this, that I had enough things to say for the whole time. So, yep, have a great day. See you guys next time. I would say tomorrow, but I can't even guarantee that.